Alright everybody, so for the first question that we will be looking at is, it says the local weather report states that there is more than a 2/3 chance of rain for Saturday. It says, what is the likelihood that it will rain on Saturday? So the first thing that we need to look at, we need to know what is 2/3 as a decimal, because this is probability. So it's going to be 2/3 as a decimal would be 0.66, and it continues, right? That means that it's more than 50. It's more than 50% chance that it will actually rain. So if it's going to be certain, then the probability would be 1. It is likely to rain, then it means that the probability is more than 50%. That means it could be 0.5, 0.6, or so on. C says it is neither likely or unlikely to rain. That means they're not sure. It is impossible that it will rain on Saturday. That means the probability would be 0. So based on this here, it says that it is likely that it will rain on Saturday. For question 2, it says the cost of a barrel of beans B fluctuates by 17% in both directions during a 3-month period. It says match each verbal description of the high and low cost of a barrel of beans with all equivalent expressions. Now guys, if we're going to look at fluctuate, it means that the cost of something, it either goes up or down, right? It fluctuates, so it's going up one time and then at another point in time it goes down. Now we're going to work this as percent increase and decrease. So if it decrease, first thing, let's look at decrease. If it decrease, we're going to convert 17% to a decimal, which is going to give us 0.17. So if it decrease, of course if it decrease, it's going to be 1 minus 0.17, which is going to give us what? 0.83. And if it increases, that means we're actually going to add 0.17 to 1. So it's going to be 1 plus 0.17, which is going to give us 1.17. Good? Now, because it says the cost fluctuates as it relates to B, it would have to be, if it decreases, 0.83B. So let me use a different color. So it's going to be 0.83B. And if it increases, it's going to be 1.17B. Good? So let's just look at the answer choices. It says match each verbal description of the high and low cost of a barrel of beans with all equivalent expressions. So it says B is increased by 17%. Good? So if it increases, then of course we're going to look at what we found before. It would be this, right? As well as we could actually find what is 17% of B and then add it to the cost of B. So this could also be an answer because it's the same thing. It will give us the same result. Though it says B is decreased by 70%. Now decrease would be the one that we worked up here, which is 0.83B, which is this one here. And of course, you can actually find what is 17% of the cost of a barrel of bean and then subtract it. So it could actually be this one here. So those are our equivalent. For the next one, number 3, it says a spinner is divided into blue, green, and red parts. George spins the spinner 300 times. A table of outcomes is shown. So after spinning it 300 times, these are the results. Blue 91, green 107, red 102. Now it says, based on this data, what is the estimated probability of the spinner landing on red? So of course, we're looking at a probability question. So we want to know the probability of it being red. Good. So of course, what is the possibility or the probability of getting red? It would be 102, because that's how many times we got red. But your denominator is going to be the total. That means you should be adding 91 plus 107 plus 102. Now of course that should give you 300, and it also stated in the question. So you should have 102 divided by 300, and remember that probability, it lies between 0 and 1, right? So if you have gotten a number above 1, that means you did something wrong. So 102 divided by 300 should give you 0.34. So the probability of the spinner landing on red, it would be 0.34. Let me just double check. 102 divided by 300, I got 0.34. All right. Question 4, it says, what is 2/3 written as a decimal? And of course we're simply dividing. So we're dividing. We want 2/3 as a decimal, and of course what goes here? 3, because bottoms out, right? 3, and here 2. So we're dividing. So 3 into 2. Can we get 3 from 2? No. So we put our point and add a 0. How many 3's can I get from 20? Alright, 6. 3 times 6, 18. And we subtract. Borrow 1. So 8 from 10 we leave 2. Alright. 3 into 2. I cannot get 3 from 2, so another 0. Good. But what do you see what that is happening here? I'm going to get 6 again, and it's going to continue. So because it's repeating, it's called a repeating decimal or non-terminating decimal. So our answer would not just be 0.6, because when we divided this, we did not just get a terminating decimal, which is 0.6. No, it continued, right? So it would actually be 0.6. If you borrow above here 6, let us know that the numbers that follows here is going to actually be 6. Question 5, it says Tony has a bucket filled with green, blue, yellow, and red markers. He removes 3 markers from the bucket with replacements. Select all the outcomes that are possible. So we're going to select all the outcomes that are possible. It says all the markers removed are the same color. Yeah, all the markers could be of the same color. Only 1 marker of each color is removed. No, this wouldn't be one of our choices. See, there are equal number of green and blue markers removed. Yes, and guys, remember it said replacement. That means after Tony removed them from the bag, he actually put them back, right? Or replaces them. So this could be an answer choice. D, it says there are equal number of red and yellow markers removed. That's one of our choice. So there are only 2 colors of markers removed, and there were removed an equal number of times. No, So our three choices would be A, C, and D. So those are our choices.